Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celebrating Black Excellence. I'm Carlton C. Clay. Our next guest is coming to us all the way from Fairmont Crest. He's an actor. He plays Dr. Ted Richardson on the show Beyond the Gates. Augusta's own Maurice Johnson. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm home.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much for being here on Celebrating Black Excellence. We definitely appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, man. So let's get started with you. For people who do not know, how did you get started with acting? Like, what inspired you to become an actor?
Well, I got started acting at Albany State University. So I jumped into the speech and theater program. I was looking for some easy classes, and I said, hey, let me take some speech classes. And then I jumped into a play, and the spotlight hit me, and I was just, stung at that point, and I wanted the rush of being on the stage, the interaction with the crowd, and I just continued to do that even when I left college. Jumped into the corporate world. I did stage plays on the weekend, and I traveled and did those, and that's where casting directors found me.
Okay, nice. Now, again, you are from here, born and raised here, Augusta,
That's
Georgia,
right.
Graduate from Glen Hills High School.
That's right, Southside.
Yeah. Now, again, you're out there, you're in the industry, and as an Augusta native, from the outside looking in, how important is the arts here in Augusta? How important should we be cultivating the arts here in Augusta?
Well, I've always felt that Augusta was a center of the arts, and it's a lot of different things. You hear the music, you see the murals downtown, you see the festivals, and so I felt artsy a little bit, but of course I didn't get that going to a public school. But of course what Davidson is doing and what some of the theater companies around here are actually doing, I think is really, really good. I didn't jump into that because I was more into sports, at that time, and I really was trying to figure out what I was going to do, but I wish I would have jumped into, some of the theater outfits here. But growing up here, seeing James Brown, like at Sally Beauty or at the Kroger, it was like, oh, wow, this is an international star. So I saw, the possibilities, even though I was here, maybe expand my horizons just to see just to see the possibilities. But, I definitely felt the arts were here.
Nice. Now, you talked about, again, being discovered while you were, in the corporate world, different things like that. What was it like for you when you were casting your first mainstream speaking role? Because I know that's like a great feeling for an actor. Like, what was that moment like for you, if you can go back and think about it?
I definitely can go back. My first, on the same network, CBS, my first major network show was Hawaii Five-0.
Okay.
Many don't know, it shoots actually in Hawaii, not in LA. I flew to Hawaii. I bet on myself. I'm going to look directly into the camera. I bet on myself because I felt that I was going to bring something to this role, and when I saw this role, I said, "It's for me." The original role was for Bob Dietrich. Bob Dietrich is actually German.
Okay.
And so they actually changed the name to Bob Ledford, and so I actually booked a role that was written for a white man. So I definitely betted on myself. So it was one of those things. Some things that are definitely for you, and those are one of the moments that, just like this, being, of course, one Beyond the Gates, I knew that role and felt that role was for me. And so that when I actually hit that scene, I'm in beautiful Hawaii. I'm working with Sam Anderson, who I was watching at the time on Lost. Like I'm watching, all of the major players, that's actually on there, like Scott Conn. I'm like, wow, I've actually grew up like watching these guys and their parents. And just to get on there, I said, hey, this is something big.
Yeah.
Just the level of production that they had, and also being on a major network. I knew, I had to come in and perform and hit the ground running and be a professional.
Nice. And I want to give you your flowers. I want you to run down, because you've been on a lot of stuff, and we got time today.
We got time
I want
today.
you to run down all the shows and stuff that you have been a part of. Run it down.
I'd have to pull out IMDb, but
from what
Hawaii
you can remember.
Five-0,
Okay.
Chicago Fire, Vampire Diaries, Born Again Virgin, Tyler Perry shows would be, I'm trying to categorize things. Meet the Browns, for better or worse. Born Again Virgin. Been on a lot of, I'd have to run down
It's
my
a lot.
IMDb.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I don't
But I
even
wanted
know
you
how
to do
many
that.
credits.
I wanted you to do
60.
that because, you've done a lot. You have done a lot. And again, we are proud of you again. Just as an Augusta native to another, we're definitely proud of you, and we are excited about all the great things that you've been doing, man. So again, I want to give you your flowers while you're here.
Man, I appreciate you.
No problem. Now let's talk about what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
You are currently on the daytime soap opera Beyond the Gates.
That's right.
As Dr. Ted Richardson.
That's right.
Now let's get into this mess. First of all, can you tell us about your character? Like, tell us about the world of Fairmont Crest.
I love my wife. That's what I'm going to start off saying. So Fairmont Crest is, I think, a beautiful thing, and I'm so glad that Michelle Valjean, she actually wrote this, because it opens the world to what many people don't know about the DMV area. That you probably have 3 to 5 of the top 10 most affluent areas for Black folks are in this area, in the DMV area. And so this is just a snapshot of one of those neighborhoods, which definitely is a gated neighborhood, which definitely is on golf courses. You know, we spend a lot of our time, you know, in the country club. So we are definitely the upper crust. We're a very connected family. Of course, you know, Clifton Davis, who we all saw, you know, growing up, him and Tamara Tooney are the matriarchs. So everything kind of surrounds them. Their 2 daughters. I'm married to one of their daughters, of course, Daphne Duplay, who I actually grew up watching as well, and Carla Mosley, who is giving like an Emmy performances like all last week. If she doesn't get an Emmy for what she did last week, I'd be surprised. But that is the nucleus of the family. You know, we call them the Big Four, and so I'm blessed to be number 4 on the call sheet. So that's something for me. That means something for folks in the industry. But you know, we have created we've created this community. But this community has flaws, right? You know, you see all of the affluence. You see, I'm a doctor. My wife is a psychiatrist. You know, but we have flaws. You know, some people have kids that are popping up. Maybe not. We have, you know, I have 2, you know, kids that are doing very well for themselves. I have a son that's actually playing a gay role. He actually is I'm married, you know, to a man. And he has 2 kids that he actually adopted. So this was something that was new for me, you know, as well. It's something I think, you know, the world needs to actually see. And it's an interracial couple. So it's a lot of different, you know, movable parts, you know, that's in this. So we're creating a very diverse world. So it's based on a Black, affluent African-American family, but it's definitely a diverse cast. So we have everybody represented, you know, in this cast. So I think people are going to see themselves. They're going to see their cousins in there. They're going to see the drama that they have in their own families. I don't care if you're Black, if you're Asian, if you're Hispanic, you're like, I know a Danny, right? I know a Dr. Ted Richardson. Or hopefully this is something that people are going to aspire to do. Like when we grew up, we saw the Cosby Show. I saw Bill Cosby. I saw how they lived. I saw New York because of there, even though I was sitting in Augusta, Georgia. That's how New York is. Oh, they have brownstones. Never would have known that if I wouldn't have seen it on that show. And so we're going to open the eyes, and hopefully some of this is educational, you know, from how we wear our hair, because Black people are not a monolith. We have different hair textures. We're in all different shades and sizes and all kind of things, and we represent that on this show. So I think it's really eye-opening. We have older people that grew up watching, you know, the soaps, that were in love with Victor, that are crying about this show being out. And so we realized, like, wow, this is like really big, that people are really looking at this. We've been working, so we haven't had the time to really experience that. But, you know, when you see social media, it's blowing up.
Absolutely.
You know, TikTok's blowing up.
Absolutely.
You know, it's crazy. We have fan clubs and stuff. You know, I have fan clubs that's just popping up every day. And, you know, people are talking about it. And so that's one of another good things, that it starts the dialogue about certain things that plague us, you know, whether it's, you know, from a psychiatrist because of my wife, you know, about the mental health piece that's going on. You know, some people follow the show just for fashion because everybody's fly, you know, and also, you know, we have a Black writer that's actually on there. So we don't have another culture that's writing about my culture. So I should sound like, you know what, my uncle probably says the same thing. Or what's the banter when a doctor is talking to his son, or to his cousins, or when he's having beers with his boys. Right. That's what we see and hear, you know, and hear.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, I'm gonna tell you this. Like I said, I'm a soap head. I grew up, you know, so my grandma got me watching The Young and the Restless. So I grew up watching the soap operas. You know, it was required.
That's right.
We staying at grandma's house. We watching the soaps.
Yep.
But to your point, what you said about just the older generation, and I told this to my mom. I said, I wish my grandmother was alive to see Beyond the Gates, because she would be so proud. Yeah. To, you know, again, this show is centered around the African American family, and again, it's not just, you know, you see the luxury of it all. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a fun ride. I've been watching. Yeah. I've been watching. We are on weeks. Fun. Now listen, I literally went and found the family tree because it's so much. You gotta. So I'm gonna break this down while you're here. We actually have the doctor in the house, and I'm gonna break this down. So we have Anita and Vernon Dupree. We got the parents. So they got 2 daughters, Danny and Nicole. You're married to Nicole. So Ted is married to Nicole. Y'all got 2 kids, Kat and Martin. And then Martin is married to Bradley,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have two children.
Yep.
All right. And
Boy
then you
and
have a
girl.
nephew as well.
That's right.
So you have Andre, the player.
Andre. Yep, the player. I live vicariously through Andre's,
his shenanigans.
He has a lot of shenanigans going on, yeah.
And then we have Danny, and then she was married to Bill. And we
Yep.
find out already that he's getting married to his daughter's former best friend.
That's right. Is married. Yeah.
Is married now, as in week 2.
Yeah.
So, yes. And so then they have 2 kids, Chelsea and Naomi.
Yes.
And then Naomi's married to Jacob, who's played by my friend Jabri.
Jabri.
Yes. So,
That's my boy.
Yeah. And so then, but here's the messy part, though. So Ted possibly has a daughter, an outside daughter. And we're in week 2. We're going to talk about it.
Says who?
Listen,
I need proof.
and I'm with you because there has been no DNA. But there is a young lady, Eva. She's now working with your character's wife.
Yeah.
So
Yep, works for my wife. So it's very close to home.
Yeah, it's a lot going on in Fairmont Crest.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is entertainment. It is a soap. So yes, it's a lot of scandal. It's spicy. It's sexy. It's but you see a lot of different elements. You know, you see our affluence, right? But you see the human part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see also you see long-term relationships. So you see 30, 40, 50 years of relationships, in this, but then you also see the possible things that happen along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just like many of us, you have outside children, or you have other things that these couples have had to get over the years to maintain, their status in this community, and also their relationship, as well. So it's a lot. But then also we have the affluence, but we have doctors and lawyers, and we have nurses, we have a fireman, we have Jabri, who's playing a cop, his dad, who's the chief of police, so we have a lot of different elements, that's, actually in there. So it's blue collar workers, it's people that work, kind of would be considered the upper crust, as well. So it's not totally like a dynasty, but I can see why some people have been comparing it to, a African-American dynasty.
Right. Now, we haven't had a soap centered around Black characters since Generations.
99.
So how does it feel for you to be a part of this groundbreaking soap opera? I asked Jabri this question, so I'm going to bring it to you as well. How does it feel for you to be a part of this?
It is humbling to be asked to be a part of this. We are history. We're definitely history, and I'm glad to be a part of this, and that I was tapped to be a part of history. Representation matters, and we haven't seen ourselves on TV, but we are actually a large amount of the audience had always been for soaps, have been the African-American audience, but we didn't see ourselves, just like Atama Ratuni was one of the few Black faces, and for the most part, she was the only Black face that was on the soap opera that she was actually on. So now you get to see a family of that. But, like I said, Black folks are not a monolith, so we show, I think, a wide variety, which is definitely cast, on here. But then we show our interactions with a lot of different, things. We have interracial marriages, we have love triangles, we have, like all kind of stuff. But it's important for us to see ourselves there. And then myself, like I went to an HBCU, so I'm glad that we're representing HBCUs because my character went to Tuskegee. We also went to, my wife, she actually went to Tougaloo. So a lot of people might not know where Tougaloo is. And so guess what? Now you have another a group of folks that don't know about HBCUs that are learning about Tougaloo and Claflin and where's Payne College. Right. And so that's something I think that would be eye-opening as well. Also other things like 100 Black Men or things that we might belong to. We had a reference to links actually in there. And so this is educational, as well. So I think another, someone from another culture is able to look at this like, okay, and it's sort of eye-opening, and they can learn more. We can continue to learn more about each other by watching the show.
Absolutely, and like not only are we entertained, but we are educated. And like you said, I love that outside of all of the drama of it all, they're human. We're actually showing us as Black people as human in the different things that we go through and different things like that. Even if you are a part of a different class, we all still have the same things that we are dealing with in life.
Exactly.
So that's what I love about this show. Again, it's been a fun ride, man. It has been a fun ride, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next.
This is just the
And
beginning.
I see, man.
Get ready.
We are only on, I don't know when exactly this is coming out, but as of right now, as we're recording, we're only on week 2.
Yes.
And it's already a hot mess.
Yes.
But I love it. Again, it's a fun ride.
We saw episode 10 today.
Okay.
Yep, live.
Okay.
It was, yeah, it's definitely a ride. But, shout out, and I want to definitely give a shout out to CBS Studios, to P&G Studios, and then also to NAACP.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a merger that a lot of people don't realize. They see it on CBS, but this was, definitely a merger of 3 different groups that came together to actually create this. So,
and also
my hat's off to them.
Yeah, and also what I want to acknowledge, so I want to look, like I said, you have women that are at the top, at the rank.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's each department.
Yeah, so that's beautiful too. So it's again, this is a groundbreaking show.
Yep.
And I want to call it a show. I know it's a soap opera technically.
That's right.
But it's a show.
It's a show.
We need. I'm looking into the camera now. We need everybody to check out Beyond the Gates. Please check it out. Men, women, you guys will love it. I promise you. I'm not gonna steer you wrong. Okay, I'm the TV guy. So please check it out for sure.
Men, you will love it. It's a lot of eye candy there. It will be great. And ladies, there's a lot of man candy on there for you. So trust me, you're gonna like it.
So let's real quick. Are there any other I know you're busy with Beyond the Gates. But are there any other projects that you're working on that you can discuss?
Operation Aunties, that is coming out on All Black very, very soon. So we had Tashina Arnold was actually in that, and Rebecca D'Souza, she plays my wife, in that. So that will be released. I did 7 films last year before I did Beyond the Gates. So I started filming that in October.
Okay.
And so I was busy. I had 2 more films to finish, and then I got signed on for this. And of course, I had to focus, on this. So it's definitely been a blessing. But I have a few more films that's coming out. One is a Christmas film as well, so I don't have a release date on that. But check me out. Follow my social media pages. I always post that whenever I'm able to post it, and show when we have release dates, for those.
This man is busy, y'all. Going back to Beyond the Gates, because I watched the special that it came out before the show actually premiered.
On ET.
80 to 100 pages. They're filming a lot.
Yeah, 100.
So this man is busy. This man is busy. So again, hats off to you, man, on all that you got going on, man. This is dope. It's a beautiful feeling. Now, what words of encouragement can you give someone who is watching who may want to get into acting or the entertainment business?
Theater, community theater. Take classes. Don't think that you can just, I can jump on and just say that one line. It's a whole lot bigger than that, and it's also having respect for the craft. So it's a lot of things that you need to understand, from just set etiquette and being in front of the camera, behind the camera. It's, the person that's set up these cameras today, I have much respect, for him. The angles, the lighting, it's so many different things. And don't just think that you have to be in front of the camera. Sometimes you can be behind the camera. Just find what your, path is. Because I think, quite honestly, this is one of those industries where you have to try everything. You might be a PA, and then you're going to be a DP, and then now you're doing lighting. Might be a gaffer. You might be the boom guy, one day. And so, just figure out what that is, but just figure out because on our set, we have 200 different individuals that are working on this set, and everybody has to do their job. And if one person messes up, if the lighting is not right, I don't care about the sound. I don't care about the cameras. You're not going to be able to tell, because the lighting is messed up or the sound piece is not there. And one time very recently, the sound actually went out on us, and it killed half of our day. So that's also money for the production. So CBS, that was a lot of money that they had to pay because we had to shoot overtime, because something happened, it's a technical thing, so it's a lot of different things happen, but, you always have to be ready. You always have to come with your A game. You're always being supported by, but relied on for so many different people just to do your job. So I have to come in and do my job as an actor, for the folks that's from, behind the scenes as well. Yep.
Absolutely. Now, if people want to follow your journey or they want to know more about you, how can they do that?
Any of my projects, if you want to really do some research, on IMDb, all of us in the industry, that's how we kind of verify what people have been doing. So you can look at all of my projects. I've been blessed to have a lot of projects, so some of them I've forgotten about, but check those out, on there. You can see clips, you can see pictures and stuff. I think it's kind of fun, and I do a lot of research on there as well, when I'm trying to get ready for a new project and see who I'm working with, and I do a lot of studying, on there. You can follow me on social media at Mr. Maurice Johnson. That's MrMaurice Johnson. text me, tweet with me, send me a DM, and I love to have the banter. I love to see what you think about the show. Even kids that's trying to get into the industry, send me a ping and I'll let you know. I have my kids down at Albany State. I speak down there, and when I'm doing guest lecturing or whatever, they send me their projects. They send me their clips. They send me their YouTube videos, and so we critique this stuff. And so that's the thing. Be a student. Be a student. Constantly take that feedback, because I'm still a student, right? So I'm 46 years old and I'm still learning, and there's so much more I can learn. There's going to be something on every single set that I can learn from. Even the camera guy, I can learn from him. I could sit down and talk with someone about the lighting piece, how to find my light. Some people don't even know that. I can be all into your shadow, right? And so it's just different things that we can learn. Every day I come in to learn something different, and we spend a lot of time on set. So find something to, to learn every single day. So 10 to 12 hours on set, sometimes 14 hours on set, it can be taxing, but, we try to make sure that, it's a cohesive environment. I make sure I bring my energy, and I have a very big, energy when I come in the room. People know when I'm not on set, and I know what it does for certain people, and so that's what I try to do. I just try to bring my A game every single time I come.
Well, Maurice, thank you so much for bringing your A game here. We definitely appreciate you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to sit down with us here on Celebrate
Never
Black
too
Excellence.
busy to come home, man.
I appreciate you. And again, you are Black Excellence, and we want to celebrate you. So thank you again, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right, everyone. I am Carlton T. Clay. This is Celebrate Black Excellence. We celebrate Black Excellence every day. Have a good one.
Every day.